There was a man who rode a bicycle. His name was Bertie. Soon there was a young boy named Rico. He approached Bertie in his contemporary car. He made a joke about Bertie being a legendary racer, but riding a bicycle that looked like a woman's. Then he hit Bertie from behind. This caused Bertie to fall down. Bertie then went to the traffic office to renew his license. Bertie met Mr. Nesser. Bertie said that he divorced his wife. He also told him about his daughter, who lived with Bertie, while his son lived with his ex-wife. Then Bertie was helped by Winkler to renew his driver's license. Then Bertie went to his workshop. Soon he was surprised to see a message on his daughter named Mick's cell phone. Mick got a vulgar message from her boyfriend. It turned out that her boyfriend was the boy named Rico who hit Bertie. A while later, Rico came to pick up Mick. Seeing that Bertie felt like he wanted to give him a lesson, Bertie immediately hit Rico until his nose bled. Bertie then advised Mick not to go with Rico, but Bertie's daughter was very stubborn and decided to go with Rico anyway. The next day came a moneylender named Werner. Werner sternly collected Bertie's debt to Bertie. It turned out that Bertie did not pay the debt across 40 million euros. Werner even said that Bertie's workshop would be confiscated by the bank if Bertie did not pay his debt. Hearing that, Bertie felt upset and confused. Then Bertie called his mechanics named Salem, Tyrese, and Clausy. Bertie conveyed his intention to close his workshop. He wanted to live his retirement by farming, but in the middle of his conversation, Bertie suddenly saw a poster for an old car race. The poster said that the winner would get a Porsche 964 car, which if cashed out would be 150,000 euros. Instantly, Bertie felt that joining the race was the only way to pay off his debt. So he asked his mechanics for help in preparing Bertie's caliber car. However, Mick was upset to know that her father was going to race again. Mick remembered that her father promised not to race again, but Bertie didn't mind his daughter's words. He would still race the old car. At the house, Bertie's ex-wife called Ushji came with her husband named Gunnar. Gunnar saw that his Jaguar car was not in front of the house. In addition, he was upset because he saw his house in a mess. Gunnar knew that it was Ushji's son. Then Ushji immediately looked for him. It turned out that her son named Daniel brought his stepfather's Jaguar car to show off to his friends. Seeing that Ushji, who arrived, was immediately angry, she also told Daniel to go home. Instead of going home, Ushji felt Daniel needed to be punished. Then Ushji went to Bertie's workshop. Ushji told Bertie to hire Daniel in his workshop. At first, Bertie refused, but Ushji forced him. Finally, Bertie accepted Ushji's request. Then Bertie picked up his son. When they arrived at the workshop, Bertie introduced Daniel to the mechanics. But Daniel saw the dirty conditions of his father's workshop and felt disgusted. Bertie was not angry with his son's words. Instead, he told Daniel to accept the conditions of his father's workshop. Then Salem began to check Bertie's caliber car. He found a problem with the car's engine. Hearing that his father had a problem, Mick advised Bertie not to push himself. But Bertie felt that it was the only way, so he continued to try his caliber car. Shortly after testing the car, Bertie felt that the car was not fast. Then Salem got the idea to steal a car engine from his uncle's workshop. He quickly called his cousin named Siri. It turned out that Siri was upset with her father. Then Salem made a plan to steal the car engine. Long story short, the four of them did the plan. Clausy pretended to be Siri's boyfriend. He came to Siri's house to distract Salem's uncle. But Salem's uncle named Aslan didn't like Clausy. He almost beat Clausy. Fortunately, Siri came and managed to persuade her father to accept Clausy. Finally, they invited Clausy to eat together. Meanwhile, Bertie, Salem, and Tyrese went into Aslan's workshop. They looked for a suitable engine for Bertie's caliber car. Soon, they found a suitable engine. Then they decided to leave. But Tyrese dropped a trash can. This made Aslan suspicious. He immediately came out and brought a shotgun. Fortunately, Siri managed to stop her father. Then Bertie quickly escaped from Aslan's workshop. When Bertie arrived at his workshop, he immediately installed the new engine into his caliber car. With the help of his mechanics, the engine finally finished installing. Then Bertie tried the car again. He was very happy because his car could go fast. This also made the mechanics happy because the car could reach the desired top speed. Likewise, Daniel felt happy and got closer to his father. One day, Daniel and his girlfriend named Tessa celebrated Daniel's birthday. But Bertie, Muck, and the mechanics came to Daniel's event. Seeing them coming, Tessa felt upset and left. Then Daniel chased her because he feared that his relationship would end. Seeing Daniel leave, Muck, Bertie, and the mechanics followed Daniel. Then Daniel saw Tessa with a man named Tom. Meanwhile, Muck saw Rico with another woman. In annoyance, Mickey hit Rico. Seeing Muck angry at Rico made Bertie angry too. Bertie and his mechanics punched Rico's friends until they were battered. But Clausy was so drunk that there was a woman who pranked him. Then after they waited for Clausy to sober up, Bertie chose to go home. But they were shocked because Daniel secretly took Bertie's Caliber car to race with Tom. Bertie felt Daniel was in danger. He immediately went looking for his son. Daniel arrived at the starting line. Soon Daniel and Tom started the race. Meanwhile, Bertie arrived at Daniel's race venue. Bertie worried a lot about his son, but it turned out that Daniel was very ambitious to win. Just before the finish line, Daniel got into an accident. Bertie's Caliber car fell into a ravine. Fortunately, Daniel was able to save himself before the car fell into the ravine. Daniel felt guilty because he broke his father's car that was going to be used for the race. Then he asked his stepfather to give money to Bertie to make up for his mistake. But Gunnar firmly refused Daniel's request. He told Daniel to solve his own problem. Hearing her son being yelled at, Ushi didn't like that and was angry at Gunnar. At the workshop, Bertie felt desperate because the car that was his only choice had been damaged. He planned to fire his mechanics and was about to sign a letter from the bank, but suddenly Daniel came and apologized to his father. Hearing that, Bertie cried. Soon Ushi came and brought Bertie's old Audi car. Bertie was very happy to see his old car in front of him, but Daniel and Mike felt that the car was tacky and unlike a racing car. But Bertie didn't care what his two children said. He immediately called his mechanics to set up his Audi. Soon Salem, Tyrese, and Clausy arrived. They happily repaired the Audi with the help of Daniel and Muck. Until the next day, Bertie was surprised to see the mechanics and Daniel painting his car into black. Instead of being angry, Bertie was glad that his car looked cool. Then Bertie eagerly took his car to the circuit. Bertie, Ushi, his two children, and the mechanics arrived at the circuit. They saw many participants, including Rico and Tom. In addition, a former soccer player named Lucas Podolski also participated in the race. Then Bertie prepared for the race. Until the green light turned on, Bertie's car suddenly found it difficult to start. Bertie calmly waited until his car could start. After that, he immediately drove fast to catch up with the race. During the race, two racers' cars crashed into the barrier. Bertie felt that it was an opportunity. He immediately passed one racer after another. In addition, with his skills, he managed to avoid the racers who were cheating, until Bertie was in the third position. Soon Bertie managed to trick Tom because Bertie already had a lot of experience, until Bertie managed to be in second position right behind Rico's car. Seeing that, Rico tried to overtake Bertie, but a few meters before the finish line, Rico crashed into the barrier. This made it easier for Bertie to win the race. Finally, Bertie won the classic car race competition. He also won a prize that could pay off all his debts. As a result of the victory, Ushi chose to be with Bertie. She chose to continue her marriage with Bertie once again.